Hello YouTube. Right, where am I looking? On the over there. There. Right. Me and the cat had some words, and the cat said that he's getting bored plugging in lights and things, and having to go out to the shed to turn things on and off at will. So he says, "Why don't you use?" Wait, use your idea so you can talk to the camera. Yeah. Okay, that's a bit forceful. Yeah. He said to me, use something you got in stock to kind of automate things. So I have added what was an emergency lighting exit box to the shed, and I put some controls in it, and I've got this solution. Where's the button? So we see this extension lead down here. This is quite a important extension lead because I'm lazy and I don't like getting down in the corner behind the cat tunnel to my only off-grid socket, which is there. Yes, Massey. To plug in my laptop and various things to use on the only off-grid power point that I have in the house. Stop doing that. Thank you. So, with the use of this rather fancy light and this remote that you might have seen in a previous video. Oh my god, you're ugly. You're not so bad though. Go on, out of the way. You're ruining the video. Thank you. With this remote, get it out the way. With Mouse's face in the way, I can do that. And I can also do this. And I can do that. And I can do that. Pete's broken it. No, it's alright. Just have to point it in the right direction. So Mousy says she quite likes this idea, don't you? But not only can I do that, because I've got 4 buttons on this, I've actually plumbed some more things into the controls. So let's go outside to the shed and have a look. I'm going to get crucified for the cats in this video. Come on, off we go. Go on, up we go. So I've done something to save me in the mornings and the evenings because they're drawing in. So obviously we have hallway and outside light. Oh, it's raining. And wall lights. So if we go down to the shed, behind the junkyard, I can come in the shed and go do. Haha. So this little bulkhead up here, as you can tell, it's got lines in it. This has been in the shed and it's been knocking around, kicking around for ages, and it's it's a testament to the fact it actually works. We've got a couple of solder joints that have busted when it's been kicking around, but 2 of these do 2 different sides of the LEDs. Now it's a little bit yellow. They're only cheap LEDs that I had in stock, and if I do that, I can turn off one side. If I do that, I can turn off the other side. So I can have half brilliance, or no brilliance, or half the other side, and back there. But I've got one more button, and that's the really cool thing. I'm going to get wet doing this now. I've actually had a clean up in the shed. You may have spotted some other things around here that you shouldn't have seen, but we'll cross that bridge when you see it. Ooh, okay. And that's out here in the alley. Button B does that. And button B, without showing you the stuff I've snaffled, is a fluorescent light with a strip of LED tape running back and forth, which I've angled. And actually there should be 2 rows. There we go, 2 rows. That's just a poor connection inside, so that needs to be upgraded because I want a little bit more light out here than I have already, to aid me in the dark mornings that are coming up in winter, because I've always had trouble down here. turn it off. Go back in the shed. Now on the temporary power wall basis, I actually have this meter up here, and that tells me that standby is 3.2 watts. That's because we've got a single 18650 charging in the lean-to. So with both my lights in here, that's about 21 watts of light. With the light out the back, we look at 36 watts. So say 32 watts total LED. And if I just turn on the inverter using the A button, that light indoors, is using 130 watts of power. Okay, minus the 3 odd for the lean-to. So it's quite a juicy light actually. I didn't realise that table lamp was so juicy. Right, let's turn that off. And the inverter goes off. Turn the lights back on in here. And you'll notice that a kilowatt hour meter has appeared. Now that kilowatt hour meter I purchased, and that's basically going to record every kilowatt, well, it's done in 0.1. Let's turn it on. It takes a while to warm up, and it's hard to read on the screen of the phone. It's about 2.8 last time I looked. Is that 2.8 or 2.9? I'll let you make your mind up. But green light shows that it's working, and it flicks red every time a certain amount of power is used. I haven't actually figured that out. It's starting to rain a bit heavier now, but what we are relying on here is this 5 amp fuse, a buck converter dropping it down to about 12.5 volts, and the gubbins that's inside there. Now inside here I've broke it out to larger terminals to make it easier to adapt and change things. That was stuck in here by mistake, so that is the original part that we are using. We've got 4 small relays. Now for the inverter, the small relay switches a bigger relay, which is that one there, and it just basically switches the positive feed to the inverter. So hopefully that should last a while. Let's have a look here. 2.9. So this is all still work in progress, and most of this again is flex that should have been thrown in the bin from actually Henry Hoover's. We've got a cleaner in one of the schools who destroys Henry Hoover flexes, drags them under doors and things, just doesn't get the idea, but it keeps us in a job. And I have about 3 or 4 of these Henry Hoover flexes with damage in various parts of the flex, where I've cut it out to reuse or repurposing it for my solar shed. So on the back of this we have some sort of automation where I can turn off and on 4 items, so inverter and 3 sets of lights. I may reduce this to 1 switch and add an additional, which is this flex, but that's for another video. And that is the switch line for the bigger relay. That's an 80 amp, but yeah, it's never going to get that far on a 600 watt inverter. If it kills it, it kills it. I've got 2, so I've got a spare. So yeah, I'm quite enthralled by this. It's given me added functionality to the system. I'd like to upgrade to something a little bit bigger, maybe a 16-way one, then I can push buttons to turn all sorts of things off. This black wire is actually an extension of the antennae, because I used to have to go to the back door to turn the modules on and off, but it means I can turn the inverter off before I go to bed, saving us 18 watts an hour every hour until I get up, sort of thing, to come down the shed, turn it off. This video has probably gone way too long, but it's interesting. Installation is to be well, I'll do a video on that another day. Still getting footage for that, so yeah, have a look at that. 5.5 amps, 150 watts with everything on. That's what that light does. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Things are still very much under construction. I'm Pete, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, bye.